what you're talking about. So
Yeah, I do want to say, I think it's kind of funny too, because like, I used to, when I first was raw, I was very, very strictly hygienic, to the degree where I read some stuff talking about, like hot peppers or this or that. And I was genuinely curious. This is about 5 years into my raw food diet. I was genuinely curious, and I was like, I want to try a hot pepper. I haven't had one like literally for 5 years. And I remember going to the grocery store and looking at hot peppers, but then looking around and making sure no one saw me getting a hot pepper, because I actually felt guilty, because I was in kind of the mindset where hygienic is proper and right and something outside of it is wrong. And I think sometimes people within a raw food lifestyle can start to actually feel that way too, that raw food is right and anything outside of it is wrong and bad and can produce guilt, which then in turn can produce, like binge mentality and self-image issues and, a whole host of stressors in our life. And I've felt that. I've went through that over my last, 15 plus years raw. And even having something like peas, there was a time where when I first had peas, I was like, I can't tell anyone this is a bad thing. I'm, outside of the perfect raw kind of thing. And, it's kind of funny to think what at one point would have almost been considered a cheat. Now I just consider it a choice. I choose them because I love them and they feel good. But at one time, something that would be considered a cheat and maybe even looked down upon by people or is peas, which for many people would be considered like the most healthy thing that they eat if they're eating a standard diet, which is, I think it's kind of fair to point that out and really look at ourselves and see what we're feeling. Because if we see someone eating something outside of our normal diet regime and we actually feel judgment or we feel guilt or we feel tightness around it, it's good to explore why we feel that and see if we can let it go. It doesn't mean you have to eat it, but to check ourselves on our emotional reaction to food and our feelings of how foods are set up and what it means for our well-being or our self-image.